Welcome back to Community Matters. We're discussing summer camps and activities for kids. Joining me to talk about the Smart Academy are Travis Mitchell, the president of Communities in School, Wake County, and Edwin Davis, an educator for Wake County Public Schools. And for both of you, thank you for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yes. Well, why don't you give us an overview of the Smart Academy?
Well, our tagline is doing the smart thing. And where it came from is that Communities in Schools, we've been partnered with Wake County Public School System for about 25 years. I had the privilege of becoming its president about 6 years ago. And so we do academic enrichment after school, summers, and provide coaches in the schools during the school year. But the SMART Academy stands for Students Maximizing Academic Resources Through Technology. And it came about from a personal experience, actually. My daughter was a third grader, and my wife and I were looking for a tutor because we noticed that on her third grade end of grade test scores, although she was making straight fours, there was something missing. She didn't do as well as she could do. So we had the good fortune and we were blessed to meet this guy that we just dubbed Bill Nye the Science Guy. I mean, this guy was so infectious about science. And I can tell you what happened. My wife and I enrolled our daughter in this little weekend school he was doing in Knightdale, and that's Mr. Davis. And Bill, I gotta tell you, at first I thought something was wrong. I was looking for some worksheets on math problems and language arts, and I looked and my daughter was tearing up the house. I mean, she was getting duct tape and glue and scissors and saran wrap, and I'm saying, what is she doing? And it all came together when I looked outside and she had made a solar oven and she was trying to cook an egg. And it was the only reason why the egg didn't cook, it wasn't hot enough. So Mr. Davis, I learned, had been a chemist for 25 years, Teacher of the Year Broughton, and his passion for science, he believed that building projects and creating experiential learning gave kids the opportunity to apply math and language arts. And when we saw what he did with our daughter, at the end of the next year, top 1% of her school in EOG scores, 5% in the state. That was 6 years ago. Today, she's a 10th grader with a 4.4 GPA. So we got together and said, if we can take what you do on the weekends and roll it into a smart summer camp experience, we could change some students' lives. And our lives have been impacted because of Mr. Davis's passion for science and for education. That's where it came from.
Wow, and you look good in a t-shirt too.
Thank you, sir.
I mean, you got everything going for you. Where did the passion for you come from?
Well, I started out as a student early on, not having the ability to read and write. And as I got more educated, I began to look at what it was I was passionate about. And science was a natural thing. In my area I grew up, science was the thing that really kept me going in school. So as an educator, I began to take what I've learned and make it relationships with my students and make the application to the curriculum come alive.
So, give us an idea of what happens at the Smart Academy. I'm going to send my child there. What happens?
So in the summer, and I'm going to ask Mr. Davis to kind of kick in here, we think that the project-based learning, the experiential aspect of it, is what draws students in. And so in the summer, where there are a lot of camps that do a lot of great things, our piece is kids get a chance to innovate. And we turn the environment into a laboratory. So what the draw is every week Mr. Davis creates a project for kids to work on from beginning to the end, but using resources they can find at home. Like in the summers, you're going to eat a lot of popsicles.
Yeah.
How about taking the popsicle sticks and making popsicle stick bridges and learning how much weight a bridge needs to be able to hold in order for its structure to be sound. Then we pivot out of that and we do 90 minutes of language arts based on the project, 90 minutes of math based on the project. And so you have 90 minutes of science, 90 minutes of math, 90 minutes of language arts, all taught by certified teachers in the Triangle area. Through grants, we've been able to invest about $1 million in teachers and supplemental pay over a 2-year period. So along with what we do in the daily instruction, we take kids to incredible places, the Outer Banks, Smithsonian Museum, Discovery Place in Charlotte, the zoo. So it gives kids a holistic environment in which they see that being an innovator is really cool, and that if Steve Jobs can do it, why can't I do it? And Mr. Davis actually is the centerpiece of the design of all the projects, are things that are familiar to kids.
Is that it, Mr. Davis, that you find passion in that and interest in that?
Yes, so for example, we may take a rainy day. You take a muddy glass of muddy water and say, well, how is it that we can devise something to make a clean filtration system by what you're using? How we can teach students earth science, what they get in school? How you can do environmental science? How can we clean up the streams? How can we take a project that's really simple but make it real world application so the student becomes interested in it?
Is it the initial project that draws them in? I mean, it sounds like that's what it is. The hands-on, I didn't know I could do this.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then it demystifies science and math. And
Right.
Bill, see, here's our idea. If, especially for the students in this area, if the Triangle is going to remain one of the most vibrant economies in the country, you have to develop the future workers. You can't wait till you need them. You have to, it costs more to import the talent than develop homegrown talent.
Absolutely.
Well, many kids shy away from sciences and math because it's not something that they feel they can apply. And if you can demystify, Mr. Davis demystifies science and math for the students. If they can see themselves doing it, they can see themselves being it. If a student has never been to the ocean, how can they think about being an oceanographer? If you've never gone through the engineering process, how can you think about possibly being an engineer? So in the Research Triangle Park, we believe that if we invest our time and our talent and our treasure today in the future leaders of tomorrow, that we give back to the future economy. And developing those knowledge workers and those skilled workers, it's all about design thinking. You're too young to remember MacGyver, the TV show in the 80s. You're way too young. I want to come back, Bill. But the bottom line is MacGyver,
He was good.
Mr.
Yes.
Davis reminds me of MacGyver. He could take a bubble gum wrap and a hanger and make an airplane. I
Yes, he
mean,
could. I
so
know.
kids have got to learn how their environment actually is their laboratory.
That sounds so exciting. We're almost out of time. How do folks get in touch with you to make it happen for their kids?
Well, if they would go to the Smart Academy, thesmartacademy.org, they can find all about how to register. Our summer camp begins Tuesday, June 13th and runs for 8 weeks through August the 4th. So we want them to sign up now. If they sign up now, it's as little as $150 a week.
I wish I had you as a teacher.
Yes, sir.
It would have been a lot more fun for me. To both of you, thank you.
Thank you so much.
And thank you for watching Community Matters. We hope you enjoyed the show. And if you'd like to view previous episodes, you can visit our websites at RaleighCW.com and myrdctv.com. And we'll see you next week.